Perhaps, to all appearances at least, he doesn't know it himself. He sits quietly there and does his duty for the sake of order, as he says. But consider that Klamm appointed him, that he acts in Klamm's name, that what he does, even if it never reaches Klamm, has yet Klamm's assent in advance. And how can anything have Klamm's assent that isn't filled by his spirit? Far be it from me to offer Herr Momus crude flattery. Besides, he would absolutely forbid it himself. But I'm speaking of him not as an independent person, but as he is when he has Klamm's assent. As at present, then he's an instrument in the hand of Klamm, and woe to anybody who doesn't obey him. The landlady's threats did not daunt Kay. Of the hopes with which she tried to catch him, he was weary. Klamm was far away. Once the landlady had compared Klamm to an eagle, and that had seemed absurd in Kay's eyes. But it did not seem absurd now. He thought of Klamm's remoteness, of his impregnable dwelling, of his silence, broken perhaps only by cries such as Kay had never yet heard, of his downward pressing gaze, which could never be proved or disproved, of his wheelings which could never be disturbed by anything that Kay did down below, which far above he followed at the behest of incomprehensible laws, and which only for instants were visible. All these things Klamm and the eagle had in common. But assuredly, these had nothing to do with the protocol, over which just now Momus was crumbling a roll dusted with salt, which he was eating with beer to help it out. In the process of all the papers being covered with salt and caraway seeds. "Good night," said Kay. "I've an objection to any kind of examination." And now he went at last to the door. "He's going after all," said Momus almost anxiously to the landlady. "He won't dare," said she. Kay heard nothing more. He was already in the hall. It was cold, and a strong wind was blowing. From a door on the opposite side came the landlord. He seemed to have been keeping the hall under observation from behind a peephole. He had to hold the tail of his coat round his knees, the wind tore so strongly at him in the hall. "You're going already, land surveyor?" he asked. "You're surprised at that?" asked Kay. "I am," said the landlord. "Haven't you been examined then?" "No," replied Kay. "I didn't let myself be examined." "Why not?" asked the landlord. "I don't know why," said Kay. "Why should I let myself be examined? Why should give in to a joke or an official whim? Perhaps some other time I might have taken it on my side too as a joke or as a whim, but not today." "Why, certainly, certainly," said the landlord. But he agreed only out of politeness, not from conviction. "I must let the servants into the tap room now," he said presently. "It's long past their time. Only I didn't want to disturb the examination." Did you consider it as important as all that? Said Kay. Well, yes, replied the landlady. Landlord. I shouldn't have refused, said Kay. No, replied the landlord. You shouldn't have done that. Seeing that Kay was silent, he added, whether to comfort Kay or to get away sooner. Well, well, the sky won't rain sulphur for all that. No, replied Kay. The weather signs don't look like it. And they parted, laughing.